everyone, welcome to Sports Wrap. This is a busy week in Minnesota sports, high school sports. It's state softball, state track and field, state tennis, golf sections, baseball sections.
Probably a little busier for you than us.
Yeah, I think so. But it's such a busy time for athletes, and it's always spring has always been interesting because all the seniors have had their graduation, and yet they're still competing. It's kind of like, it's wrong, but I'm glad they are.
It's very wrong. It's not morally wrong, but it's still wrong. Sure.
Yeah. I'm a former otter. Wait a minute. No, we've got to play some more.
I think they prefer that than moving to graduation until the season's over.
Good point. Yeah, that's true.
You always have one eye on the sky. Rain.
Yeah, this time of year that's true too, although it looks like a pretty good week.
Forecasts are good.
Oh, yeah, it's been great.
Yeah.
I've never been able to do one eye on something other than my other eye. Tried though.
It is kind of hard.
It
Well,
hurts.
I have because I'm practically blind in one eye.
There you go.
So I can keep one eye on the ball.
Wow.
How's your depth perception, big guy?
Where did that voice come from? Oh, it's you. Yeah, there you are.
Oh boy.
You take my license away here, please.
Don't give them any ideas.
Oh, no. Not that bad.
Well, we've got some area teams that are still alive in the picture. This New York Mills girls softball team is really good. And the thing about New York Mills, they're going to state for a 5th straight year, and they have no seniors on their team, and they have 5 juniors. Other than that, they're sophomore, freshman, 8th grade. They've got a very good junior pitcher, which makes all the difference in the world.
What do they
softball.
attribute the success to besides the junior pitcher?
Just playing a lot of ball in the
Doing
summer.
something special in the summer
Yeah, they've got some of the
and tradition?
junior Olympic softball, and play a lot of games in the summer. Just like we used to do, play ball in the summer, right?
Yeah. Was that your morning interview today?
No, that was golf.
Oh, that was golf.
Yeah, and that's Otter Tail Central, Battle Lake Underwood Henning kids are,
Yeah.
the boys are going to state, and the girls have 3 seniors who are going to state who have been a part of previous state tournament teams, but they didn't make it as a team this year. But they have 3 girls going. The Otters are competing at Bemidji, trying to get a couple spots there. That may happen.
There's an interesting question you posed to the golf coach about why he has success with women golfers being involved in the program. And you made the point that it seems like a struggle sometimes to get the ladies to compete. And I know it has been at the college over the years. But that was an interesting question. A good answer too.
Yeah, a lot of teams, if you look at tournament results during the season, conference meets or whatever, they may have 10 teams in their conference, but they have 4 complete girls teams and then a player or 2 on the other teams because they have to have 4 to have a team score, and they just can't get enough.
And I thought his answer was interesting, and I really agree with it in that he said, in one instance, this one gal golfer has already been talking to the 6th graders and selling the program, 5 or 6 of them that are really good athletes.
Right.
And that is the way to recruit,
Yeah.
to have one of your peers encouraging you in that situation. And I thought that was a great question and answer.
Well, thank you.
Interesting, because maybe apart from tennis, golf for women is the biggest payday in the future.
Well, this is true too. Yeah, and there are a
Isn't
lot
there in
of
basketball, it isn't there in volleyball.
and there are a lot of scholarship opportunities in collegiate sports now for
Sure.
women's sports that weren't there even
Yeah.
a generation ago, so that's because there's more college sports, competitive college sports for women now also.
Title IX.
Yep, exactly. So, yeah, it's just a fun time of the year. I love the state track meet is so much fun. The Otters didn't get anybody down there, but a lot of area kids. Pelicans very well represented there, and Eric Van Erp from Otter Tail Central is there in 4 events. 3.
I'm surprised he's there.
Yeah, he's an amazing athlete. Yeah.
Yes, isn't he though?
But that's such a great event over 2 days. Some of the best athletes in the state, well, the best track athletes, obviously, but I mean all-around athletes who are competing down there. So,
What are Van Erp's plans for next year?
NDSU
In?
track and field.
Okay.
Yep. His cousin Tony Uckelberg is there, and he's very good also. Yeah,
There's that recruitment thing again.
yeah, they can jump, those Van Erps and Uckelbergs, for sure. He set a section triple jump record
Okay.
this last week, so 46 feet 1 inch.
I was watching, since we're talking about track and field, I was watching some show called Greatest Gold Medal Winners or whatever. And they were talking about Jesse Owens, of course, in the Berlin Olympics, but earlier that spring in the Big Ten Championships, in a 1 hour period, he set 3 world records and tied a 4th.
Oh, that's incredible to think about that in 1 hour. I'd be so worn out after the first event. It'd be hard to make it to the starting line for the second event.
For the Ohio State University, Big Ten
The
champion. The
Ohio
Ohio
State
State University.
Okay, all right. Cool.
The Ohio State fired their basketball coach.
Oh, did they?
Yep.
Yeah.
Who had the best overall winning percentage in the history of Big Ten basketball.
Really?
That includes Bobby Knight et al.
Wow.
It's a, boy, I tell you what, that college sports, that is quite the dog-eat-dog business. Oofta.
How do you...
But the reason that was given, and I suppose if you're sitting in an AD chair and see someone day in and day out, personality and everything else and methods, it would make sense. The reason I heard was recruiting. Recruiting has changed. And
He's not
he
keeping
doesn't
up.
appear to be the real dynamic, walk into someone's living room and sell, but I don't know that. But they said recruiting.
You know, if they had, and the rules changed at that time, okay, he had a commitment from LeBron James. You know, how his entire career would have changed. That would have been a national championship. That would have been a whole different deal. It kind of rides, as Coach knows, on those recruits sometimes.
Yeah. Oh, it does.
And that would have changed everything. Preseason, though, Sporting News preseason for NCAA Division I has Minnesota 10.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, kind of like that.
Yep. They said, don't be surprised and don't call us up. We mean it. So that's going to be the hot ticket maybe
Yes.
coming up. I think the Twins are still a hot ticket. I bought tickets for the whole family in July,
Not for $4.
but they weren't for $4 this time. They sure weren't. Yeah, they were.
Who are they playing when you go?
The Orioles. It's UND
Oh.
night, so you get
Oh, yeah, that's
a
right.
cap that has the UND and Twins insignia on their green
Yeah,
caps.
yeah, okay.
So they'll say, "What on earth did you get that for?" And so they got it at a game.
Yep. That's
Yeah.
pretty exciting. That's good.
Twins still lead their division with an incredibly bad. Do you read all the stats? An incredibly bad run differential. They're like minus 17 run differential or something.
Yeah.
And still,
They win the close ones, lose the...
Get blown out by the Astros.
Yeah, that's happens when you play Houston.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were saying on the sports last night that if you want to see the Twins win, go watch them in Kansas City.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. What? 17-6 on the road.
Amazing.
12-18 at home.
but what's
Well, they'd be running away if they were 500 at home.
Yes.
and so you say amazing. Well, it is really amazing. Because did you watch any of those Angels games? I kind of caught.
I did.
bits
I
and
watched
pieces.
all of them. Yes.
Close games. Bullpen kept us in. I mean, real baseball. And
Yep.
and those Rays and Astros games were kooky.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a
just-
good word for it.
Just zany. What
Yeah.
on earth?
Yeah, I don't know. I just get the feeling you watch them on the road, and these young guys, they look so relaxed on the road. And then at home, I wonder if they just are so intense that we got to win at home. Fans are here, and
That's not going to get any better.
I think Kenny Vargas was probably pretty disruptive in the clubhouse. That's what I figure.
really
Yeah, they send him down, and immediately
start
they
winning?
just shape right up again.
didn't have anything to do with the Astros leaving town.
Well, they wore out their pitchers. They had to send someone, I guess. Playing on the road is an interesting thing. And in our scheduling at the college, we always like to open up on the road, and especially after a few games, have an overnight trip, just for the bonding thing. And sometimes you tend to focus a little more on the road. You probably don't have household chores if you're the Twins. You don't have errands to run. You don't have some of the other things. And I'm not so sure that baseball might be one of the least that gives you a home court advantage with the fans or the home field advantage. I have to think about that. But there are some advantages to playing on the road. You'd always say you love to play at home, but boy, there's some times where you just feel good. You against the world.
Not for the Twins in the World Series.
No,
last two times.
No, that's true. Sure.
But even expand that, remember those Twin City World Series years and the few years in the Dome that they did well? They had overwhelming home records. I mean,
Yes.
just
And
like...
overwhelming noise, where
Exactly.
to
the
Dave's
atmospherics.
point, when you get 20,000 people in a 50,000 seat stadium, there's not the advantage there is in basketball or football.
The Dome would have been a true home field advantage, no doubt.
Plus, yeah, the teams that were coming into the Dome were all worried about finding the ball in the ceiling and all kinds of things.
Playing it off the baggie.
Yeah. So that was one of the best home field advantages ever, probably.
Yeah, it's not just the Green Monster in Boston where you can go out and take some reps on it, kind of, but
Interesting article in the paper yesterday talking about Pujols' 600th home run and how that should have been a much bigger deal than it turned out to be, except we're still stuck with the steroid era of 600 home runs because Sosa got it, and I guess McGuire was close, and A-Rod and Bonds. That it's not such a big deal, even though nobody's ever said that Pujols was mixed up in that stuff. So
Right. Yeah.
And there's changes in the game since then, too.
Yeah.
Pitching has now started to be kind of the make or break feature of teams. You've got a lot of speed, the athletes, stuff.
he said he wanted to stay around long enough to beat A-Rod's Barry Bonds' record. Sorry.
so the Franco boys.
Yes.
Would you say? No, this would be a question just how you feel, whether you don't know for sure if someone with steroids or not or whatever. Just as I think about it, I almost think Pujols would be number 2 behind Bonds in terms of the group we talked about, A-Rod and McGuire and Sosa, in terms of the best home run hitter. Bonds, I think, might have been able to do it without any help.
I don't know, he didn't do it the first 10 years,
That's true.
When you look,
which should have been his peak.
Okay, you talked me into it. Pujols
8-9.
number 1. Pujols number
well,
1 for
but
me.
Pujols, I don't know. That's a tale of two cities there. I think it would have been a much bigger deal if he'd stayed in St. Louis.
Yeah.
St. Louis would have made it
No.
the absolute biggest thing
Yeah.
ever. And he's in
That's
this
true.
town for a team that isn't
Yeah.
good and nobody cares about and
It's not
nobody
his team
follows.
either.
It's not
LA.
his team.
But he went from one to the other. But I still, after Chris said, "Well, Bonds had never done it before," I would say he's the best home run hitter then of that group. Now that's factoring in my feelings of what I think of were the others on steroids or not, was Pujols or not. I don't think he was, and I think he is the cleanest, and I think he's the best.
And interestingly enough, he's never hit 50 homers in a season.
Yeah.
He's like Hank Aaron.
Yeah.
Really,
Just
that's
consistent.
yeah,
Right.
Classy fan too.
classy.
Oh.
Oh yes,
Yeah,
awesome guy.
had a fun time with it. Even Dick and Bert got to talk him up a little bit. Happy to hand the ball over, no problem.
Yep. Wasn't looking for a big payday.
Kind of got it, got the whole thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Got a hug from Albert. That's,
Hey, boy.
That's worth more than $100,000. Huh? Maybe not. Maybe not.
Yep. Anyway.
Yeah.
Doesn't Pujols still have a long contract left? Or am I thinking of someone else?
Probably does. I
he
would
sign
guess
like
he
a-
regrets leaving St. Louis.
It'd be fun
But
to
I
see
don't
him
know
go
if
back
St.
to
Louis
St.
wanted him
Louis
that bad.
right now.
Well, not at that price tag.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, okay.
They're a tight ship.
Oh, no, I think he's got a long contract that they're,
Seemed to me he signed a
dangerously locked
10-year.
into.
Didn't he sign a 10-year deal when he?
he's
came
got a
over?
Joe Mauer type thing where
Yeah,
they
yeah.
kind of might regret it.
Yeah.
Speaking of Joe,
Yeah.
Sunday there was a good article in the paper about when he was drafted. And he's the only person to ever be USA's prep athlete of the year in 2 sports. And they said of the 52 players drafted first overall since the draft started, there are only 3 players of those number 1 picks who've had better careers than Joe Mauer.
Really. And they are.
Any guesses? One of them's still playing.
Any pitchers in that mix?
No.
No. All everyday players, huh?
There's an outfielder, there's a shortstop, third baseman, and there's a third baseman.
Oh boy.
A-Rod is 1,
Okay.
Chipper Jones,
Okay.
and Griffey Jr.
That's it, huh?
Yeah, that's pretty good company.
Wow. Yeah. That is pretty good company.
There've been some
Depends
bad
on what you're
number 1
talking
picks.
about for company.
You're right,
Perhaps.
as far as productive careers.
Yeah,
And now, Joe, was it Mark Pryor that was?
Exactly.
He was the number 2 pick because the Twins had. Or no, did the Twins have number 2 or number 1? Mauer
They
was
were
number
number
1
1.
overall. Yeah. Okay.
They apparently Jerry Pryor, Mark's dad, said he doesn't want to play for Minnesota,
Oh,
and he deserves $20 million a year, or $20 million contract.
well, that was enough.
Joe
For
signed for 5.1.
that was enough for the poll ad to say, "Oh, we'll go
Yeah.
with the other guy, kid from Minnesota."
Okay, I feel better about Joe there. you got me. What can I say?
Hey, he's looking like the old
He's
Joe
looking
kind of.
okay these days. He
Yeah,
is,
he's
and he's
getting-
hitting to all fields, and seems to be. They all seem to be into it. Just keep up the good work. Play the White Sox a lot, and who knows? Just.
They sure look like they're having more fun this year.
They do.
Yes, they do.
And that's important.
Yep. This is a great stretch for them. They're playing so well on the road, but they've got 7 of their next 10 games against Seattle, which is a team that at the start of the year everybody was saying, hey, this is a team that's going to be really good, and they haven't been. And then we've got the Giants in between, and the Giants are hurt. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody in their pitching
Yeah.
staff is hurt, I think. So. Yeah.
you better make hay now because I think after the All-Star break, the whole scene changes a little bit as far as schedule. I know they start out at Houston right afterwards, but I think they got some tough ball games after the All-Star break. So now's the time, gentlemen.
Only Dave would be looking at the schedule past the All-Star break. Nice going.
I
Well,
didn't look at it, I heard it.
I see.
Remember, I only have one eye.
Ned is Ned is right about the division. Play the White Sox a lot. Yeah, absolutely. Play Kansas City a lot. It's because our division they're down. I mean, I don't know where if we were in the West, even with our good record, we'd be several games behind Houston. So I like where we're at. And the Indians, I'm just not sold that they're going to turn it around.
No, it's okay. Don't lose heart. That's what we said last week. I said that. I was out of character last week.
Yeah.
So it's still looking positive,
Yeah, you were-
looking good. I'm not upset. I'm not losing it.
Very
All
prescient.
All that stuff. Be patient. Okay, speaking of home field advantage, did you watch that hockey game last night?
Did not.
I had it on. Yep.
That's
Nashville's crowd is awesome.
well, I don't know. I'd feel threatened. Come on, just take a breather, you people.
They are just, they are rabid for 3 hours. Just
It's 3 hours of just mayhem.
Well, Tennessee's always been a hockey hotbed. You know that.
sure. Pandemonium, I
It
think.
was pandemonium for 3 periods.
It was crazy.
Like in between periods.
Yeah.
Fun to
They
see.
were wild.
It is fun to see. 4-1 win, and the series is 2-2. I love the way they do the playoffs too. It's the way it should be, I think, in a 7-game series. 2-2, 1-1-1.
Yeah.
I like that. I don't like the 2-3-2 thing,
No.
as far as home ice goes. So now they go to Pittsburgh for Game 5. Did you see Barkley kind of have a little fun with Gretzky and coffee? Did you see the replay on that?
Yeah, and then too they had him in between the second and third period talking up the NHL and talking down the NBA.
Yeah.
And they said, well, doesn't the NBA kind of sign your checks? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I should back off on that. But he's right. He said the NBA playoffs have been terrible. You know, the NHL, that's where the excitement is.
They could have just cut right to Golden State and Cleveland.
Right.
And even that doesn't look too close right now.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, but it's still a joy to watch. I was watching the game on Sunday night, and I started to get the feeling, I wonder if this is the best single team in a moment. I mean, they haven't won 6 championships, all that, but they are so good. It's scary.
Yeah.
I mean, and how they turn it on in the playoffs in the NBA is always astounding to me, because you don't see it in the regular season at all. And it was superhuman amazing what they were doing out there.
I did watch that one clip. You probably saw it. Stephen Curry dribbling for about 15 seconds and going around LeBron James finally for a layup.
Curly
That was
Neal,
cool.
remember him?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I do.
That's what it looked like. It looked like, no, it did.
Yeah.
It looked like the Globetrotters versus the
Washington Generals.
Washington Generals doing their thing.
Oh, boy.
But, and then Kevin Durant, you know, the whole thing was is Kevin Durant is good as LeBron, et cetera, et cetera. Well, this series he is.
Oh. So if Golden State completes the 16-0 playoff run, does that
It's pretty impressive.
does that put them in the conversation of best NBA team ever?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Because I think last year when they set the record for most wins in the regular season and then had a playoff, it kind of, you know, people were like, yeah, they're not that good, you know. But now they're doing it at crunch time, and they're doing it dominant play over these teams and over Cleveland.
But last year at this, 2 more games into the finals, weren't they had 3-1?
They were. They let it go.
Yeah.
So,
So we'll see
How
how
they go on the
the
road.
home field advantage, whether it kicks in or not.
Yeah.
It's really great to have a team that's it. That night they put on 132.
yeah.
Okay, Cleveland doesn't have 132 points
No.
in them.
No.
And so, amazing, but except I'll always bring up something bad. Sorry about that, it's a bad habit. In that there is no parity in the NBA.
No. No.
None. And I don't know, I think they thought that, you know, salary caps and stuff would do it, but they have 2 super teams and everyone else is not
That's
even
true.
close, I don't think.
And if LeBron James wasn't there, there'd only be 1.
That's right.
Amen.
That is right.
Yeah.
They did say that the ratings for the NBA Finals are the best they've been since Jordan played. Because people have not been that interested.
Don't blame them.
But now they've got the star power, you know, in the finals. So, yeah. And I suppose third time in 3 years, people are saying who's going to win this rubber match here, the big series. So is Golden State Cleveland on a par with Boston LA from the old days? No.
Not
Not
yet,
as
I don't
long.
think.
No. I don't think so either.
Yeah, and there was something about Bird and Magic that was a little special.
Yep, that's true. And the thing about Bird and Magic is both of them made everybody around them so much better.
Yeah.
They were so good at that.
Really, a rivalry that you could really watch. Because in the 80s, you know, we were talking about the greatest team of all time, and that's probably discussed too often, and it's probably attributed to too many people and too many teams. But that was the discussion. You'd see the 85 Celtics, they must be the best of all time. And then the Lakers would come along and
Yep.
no, they must be the best.
Yeah, right.
So you just had 2 great teams.
And even going back to the 60s and 70s,
Yeah.
how many teams were in the league back then? 10, 12?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a lot easier to win 73 games so when you're playing against 30 teams
Yeah.
because the top teams you probably only have to play 5 or 6 times. Where
That's
back
true.
then they were playing them 10 times a season.
Yeah. Oh, it was fun to watch the NBA game of the week on, you always had,
So
Knicks,
from the
Celtics.
Boston Garden,
Yeah.
the parquet floor.
Yeah. Hear the tennis shoes squeaking out there.
Yeah. Casey and Sam Jones.
Black and white TVs.
Fred Arbach.
The players were too. Black and white.
Oh, and back to Stanley Cup for a minute. the NHL, the best team all time was voted on. The top 10 teams all time was it 84-85 Edmonton Oilers was
Okay.
voted the best team in the history of the NHL.
Better than some of the Montreal teams from the
That's
50s and 60s.
That's
huh?
what they said. And Charles Barkley came out and asked Wayne Gretzky, who's your favorite black athlete of all time? Wayne said, Grant Fuhrer. Charlie said, that's not the right answer. But Grant Fuhrer, of course, was the goalie on that
Right.
team and those great Edmonton teams. That was quite a group. Who was it? Gretzky and Messier, Paul Coffey, Glenn Anderson,
Yari Curry.
Yari Curry. That's a pretty good team. Those were the main frontline guys. Man.
Kevin Lowe, wasn't he a defenseman
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
Coffee?
Yeah, so that's a great team.
And not doing it in New York or LA.
True.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can't get much more off the
I'll tell
grid
you what,
than
that's the most
Edmonton.
far out city I've ever been in my life.
Far out?
I mean, out there. Wow.
I thought you were back in the 60s for a
I was
moment.
driving across the tundra once, and all of a sudden the Emerald City just appears.
There it is.
There it is.
That's funny. Yeah. But watching those teams, I remember watching those teams in those years, and boy, they were something else. I made a bet with a guy in our office at the radio station back in, must have been that year, or maybe, I think it was the year before that I said, you have the whole rest of the NHL, I'm taking Edmonton to win this thing.
Yeah.
And I don't think they did the year before. The next year they started their run of, pretty tough team. But a couple minutes left, Rets, if there's anything you want to throw out there for us to discuss.
Spartan Golf.
Oh, yeah. In New York, NJCAA Division III National Tournament, 6th straight year they've been out there. That's pretty impressive. Son Jason is
Starting today, Tuesday. I
doing a
think,
great
yeah.
job, yeah. Yeah. And Chris Swenson is his big gun,
Yep.
Fergus Falls High School grad.
And staying on Spartan line, we have a new Spartan basketball coach for the men,
Yep, Sean Sorensen.
John Sorensen.
That'll be good.
Played for me at the college, so he is an alum, and we're excited to have him. It's a good choice.
Big Kevin Durant fan.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We were talking about it today, actually, with him about the playoffs, and he said, just remember, he said, I'm a big Durant fan. I love Golden State. I think they're the best team, but remember, championship series doesn't start till a team wins on the road. So we'll see how they do in Cleveland. I thought that was interesting.
said.
You know?
Good
Yeah,
point. Good point.
yeah. So
And we just saw Phil Mickelson on there. He's
Yeah.
skipping the U.S. Open to go to his daughter's graduation.
How about that?
Good for you, Dad.
Yeah, isn't that
Yep.
cool?
yep,
Saw that
his
too.
daughter will be very happy that he's there, I'm sure.
It's the tournament he hasn't won. I
Yes.
guess that's why they make
Yeah.
make it significant. Is that
I'm
he's-
surprised they didn't move the daughter's graduation. Really?
To let him play in the U.S. Open, yeah.
How hard would that be to move it 4 days or something?
The whole class.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Phil should have bought them all tickets to the U.S. Open. Come and watch me play, then
There
we'll
you go.
celebrate. We'll have the ceremony on the 18th hole.
He doesn't have a lot of U.S. Opens left, so
No, that's
good for
true.
him. I thought it was.
That is pretty cool.
I thought it was a pretty good deal.
It is.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. We're out of time, so we'll
That's
talk.
it.
That's it. There ain't no more. It's all there is. There ain't no more. We'll talk to you next week. Thanks.
Okay.
All right. Stay cool.
Bye.
Could you do that again, that face?
Which
There
face?
we go.
Oh, wait, no more.
A lot of it's been the gluten motivation.